You're listening to NACA Radio with Ethan, Tim, and Darren, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Fantastic, and welcome to NACA Radio in support of NACA, Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, the defense system for homeowners and the American dream. With me on the show, this is our first show, but with me on the show to get this ball rolling, hopefully each and every week, is the intrepid Darren Duarte, Director of Communications with NACA. Darren, how are you?
Good. It's great to be on. It's great to be talking to Ethan, and I'm glad we finally got started.
Thank you. Also with us is counseling expert and just actually my show co-producer here, fantastic personality and a very knowledgeable guy in sort of this, what would you say, in sort of the system of how NACA functions, if you will, Mr. Tim Trumble. How are you, Tim?
Doing well, Ethan. Thank you. Yeah, it's a real treat to get this show launched.
Yes, fantastic. And actually what's really special about this show is that this is a service that most people may have yet come to realize is really it's essentially a nonprofit. I think for the purposes of this first show, if we could, maybe Darren, you can break down what NACA actually is for those of us that are discovering it for the first time. And you need to dumb it down to my level because a lot of our listeners are probably stemming over from my previous show, Combat Radio, and need sort of an education in what NACA does for the average American homeowner.
Sure. NACA is a nonprofit community advocacy organization. Basically, we believe in home ownership, but home ownership the right way. And what I mean by that is we're first and foremost a nonprofit mortgage broker, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron in one way. But we have money to lend to people on the best terms. No down payment, no closing costs, no points, no fees, and we're close to 1% below market always. And we have the authority to give those loans out to people. But when people come to us to get a loan through us, you can't get it tomorrow. We counsel them into responsible home ownership. So we feel that once people have a NACA loan, if you will, they'll be a homeowner for life. On the flip side, we have what we call our Home Save program that was created in 2007. You know, we saw that this crisis, this mortgage financial crisis, was going to hit because, quite frankly, we lost business on our mortgage side during the time when the banks were, loaning out money willy-nilly to people, whether they could afford it or not. We saw this crash coming, so we built up for that. So now we are an organization, in addition to having a purchase product, we help people who are in mortgages that they cannot afford. We help them make it affordable. How do we do that? Through our advocacy, we fought for many years with many of the big banks to hopefully so they could see the error of their ways. And so we've got major contracts with all the major lenders in the country that basically says, in a nutshell, we can show and we can document and verify that the mortgage that homeowner is in is truly unaffordable, there's a great chance that we can lower that mortgage payment by reducing the interest rate to as low as 2% if necessary, and in some cases, depending on investor guidelines and so forth, maybe even the principal, at least forbear some of the principal. And Tim Trumble can talk to you a little bit more about that as well. Tim?
Absolutely. The options within the Home Save program are actually pretty substantial. The way I like to put it to people is that mortgages are like fingerprints. No two are exactly the same. And that's why everybody's solution is different from everybody else's. It's one of the reasons we have a little bit of a problem with the HAMP program, the Obama plan, the Home Affordable Modification program that came out of the government, because it's a cookie cutter program that is designed to try and help a problem where not all mortgages are the same. In fact, they're very different. And a cookie cutter solution just simply doesn't work in cases like that. That's why you've heard the statistics that only 15% of the people who are supposedly eligible for the HAMP type modification have actually gotten it. And we also have another problem with that because it's not a permanent solution. It's a temporary solution. You get perhaps a good rate for 5 years, then it starts creeping up back up to the market rate. And if you can barely afford the modification amount they give you for the first 5 years, then what's going to happen during year 6, year 7, and beyond that? So that's why cookie cutter programs like that just simply don't work, and why NACA's system of determining the legitimately affordable payment for each and every homeowner individually and submitting that proposal is the way for this system to work, and why we've had such an outstanding success rate.
You're listening to NACA Radio with Ethan, Tim, and Darren, right here on LA Talk Radio.